What is up, all of you burners out there? It is your boy Chandler with some more YouTube boxing news. Let's get into it.
Every day's an unwritten page. Write your story the way you insist. Ain't nobody asking you for change. That comes from you deep within. Don't leave any space. Forget any names. Remember them. Write your story the way you insist. Every day's an unwritten page. Through my thoughts, trying to unlock my own vault. Patience is a virtue.
Yeah, buddy. So, hey guys, hope that you have been enjoying the Bible Secrets series that we've been putting out recently. I just kind of want to make this video real quick because I got a bone to pick. That's right, I'm a rapper and I got a head that's thick. So, this podcast was started essentially as me and Cougar talking about the 3 C's: Christ, corruption, culture, and somewhere in there, our culture really began to revolve in a heavy deal around YouTube boxing, like this celebrity kind of prize fighting that's going on right now. So I just kind of wanted to make this video real quick because we're getting deeper into the Bible, and I just kind of wanted to break up the continuity a little bit to bring you some news that's happening kind of in the world of internet boxing. Because I don't think it's for the most part very good boxing, but I enjoy it because I enjoy fighting and I watch a lot of fighting, and I enjoy this style of boxing more than just average boxing. Like, I enjoy, the Fury versus Wilder. I enjoy the Joshua versus Ruiz. I enjoy, like, high-level fighting, Caleb Plant versus Canelo, anyone who Canelo fights, I guess, the Mayweathers. But just average boxing, to me, can get a little boring because they're just not people who we know, and I think that's something that intrigues me about fighting in general, is you get a much more sense of who that person is. So it is currently September 9th, I believe, and tomorrow is the big fight between Austin Mcbroom versus a Nissan Gib. And yeah, man, this list came out. Let me pull it up real quick. Of the top 10 YouTube boxers. And I just think it's an interesting list. I just kind of think that the person who put it together, granted, I don't know when they put it together, but I don't know if they know. It's put together by Mirror.co.uk. I don't know. Yeah, Mirror.co. It's called YouTube Boxing Rankings, featuring Jake Paul, KSI, and other top social media stars. So we've been following Jake Paul's career for a while. I have gone on record multiple times saying that Jake he's a lot better than people give him credit for, because they don't like the fact that this kid's just coming over. I don't know if I should say kid. I think we're the same age, but he might even be like a year older than me. But people just don't like that he's coming into the space and just running amok, man, and showing these people out here how to promote their fights better and get, more excitement around them. And he's just an interesting cat, man. He just had his fight announced with Anderson Silva, and even just like the promo video that he made. I mean, the dude's clowning himself, like he's kind of just making jokes about himself, which I just think is so fascinating, because he's doing the same thing that Mayweather kind of did, but just like in a different way, where he's doing what like Henry Cejudo wanted to do, but in a way that actually makes people interested in his fights. Like, he's coming at it now kind of, it seems like, from like a cringe angle, and it irritates me, but it also makes me incredibly excited to watch him fight, because, again, I think that Jake's a lot better than people give him credit for. And, I think that there's some dark horses kind of in this YouTube boxing list and whatnot, and we'll get into that, but yeah, man, I mean, all of this is leading up to the Jake Paul versus KSI fight. Like, that's what all of it is heading towards, and everyone who's kind of invested in the scene sees that and knows that, but it's about building everybody up to that point. So, with that being said, I kind of just want to dive into this list real quick and give my predictions for the fight this weekend. So, to start off the list, we have number 1, Jake Paul. I think that he rightfully earned that. I think the dude's like 5-0 now in his career, and knocked out Tyron Woodley, stopped Gib in round 1. Gib looked absolutely terrible in that fight. Knocked the shit out of Nate Robinson. Just turned Nate Robinson into history, and not even good history. Just something that you see and you go, oh, that looks like the Twin Towers coming down right there. That dude's face planted and literally bounces off of the canvas. So, Jake Paul, number 1. I think that's a good assessment. And at number 2, of course, we have KSI. Dude just fought a couple weeks ago. Fought 2 dudes same night. Beat both their asses. The second fight, the first guy had like 3 weeks of training. And I think that Jake Paul would have gotten him. I can't say that Jake Paul would have gotten him out of there in the first round, but definitely I think sooner than even KSI did, or in more devastating fashion. And the second guy was just, complaining the whole time and saying that things were low or that he was getting hit in the back of the head. It was kind of just a mess. It was a mess of a second fight, but KSI still did his work, did his thing. I just kind of think if I saw Jake in those fights, it would have been different. It would have been a different outcome and a different way of things happening and quicker. But KSI still looked really great. He looked good. Looked like he was doing all of the stuff that he was supposed to do. So at 3, we have a guy named Slim Albahur. He goes by the Hitman. Dude's like 4-0. And he's actually pretty decent. I just watched his fight that he had with FaZe Temper, where he absolutely knocks FaZe Temper clean out. But yeah, man, Slim, the thing with these like YouTube boxers is that I just feel like things can look so sloppy. And this is coming from a guy who, doesn't necessarily have like a lot of training or whatever. Like I used to do boxing when I was a kid for a few months, and I wrestled for a month maybe. But I just went to practice and never like actually competed. But I watch a lot of fighting and I think about fighting a lot, and I just feel like, again, sounding so stupid, but there's a difference when you see like people who are really high level, or even people who are on different levels in just the YouTube boxing scene. Like when Jake and KSI throw, it just looks different. It looks cleaner. It looks sharper. It looks like they have precision and they have a target for what they're going for. Slim, although he has the experience, just kind of seems like he's winging a lot. Granted, he does kind of have that like Kamaru Usman versus Jorge Masvidal 2 in his bag, where he really ducks and then he'll throw over, and that's how he landed on FaZe Temper, which really worked super well. And dude's scary. That's definitely for sure. Dude looked at FaZe Temper like he was gonna eat his children. Like that Mike Tyson interview where he's like, my defense is impregnable. I want his heart. I want to eat his children. Like, it really looked like Slim wanted to eat FaZe Temper's children straight out of his body. So scary dude. I think that his gas tank was kind of waning in that second round. Granted, he landed a great shot, and he had way more experience than FaZe Temper. He has skills, but it still, to me, seems like that sloppy demeanor. So, number 4, we got a Nissan Gib. Lost to Jake, fought Taylor Holder. I think he fought someone else in between there. I really don't know why Gib is number 4. Gib pushes the pace. He's in your face, but, like, I don't know, man. I don't see it. I think that Gib is real sloppy, which gets into the fight that he's having this weekend. Number 5, Alex Wasabi. Have not seen him fight literally at all, and don't care to, because I don't really think he's pertinent to the top people of this list. 6 and 7, I think, are the same. Josh Bruckner. He was an MMA fighter, I guess. Don't know anything about this guy. Might be good, might be bad. Don't know him. 7 is a guy named Dad. We're going to skip him because I don't know mine. And then number 8 is a guy named JMX, Joel Morris. Still no idea who you are, bro. So No disrespect to those guys, because I'm sure that they could be good, but if Slim is getting ranked ahead of you, I don't know, man. But I mean, I guess that leads me to number 9, where we have Austin Mcbroom, who I actually think is like the dark horse in this whole scene. Even though he was fighting Bryce Hall in his one and only like professional fight for his own promotion, he looks clean. Austin looks really clean. His footwork, I honestly would say, is the best out of anybody on this list. Better than Jake's, better than KSI's. I don't know if his hands are better, but his footwork and his movement are just cleaner. And granted, I think they fight, Austin and Gib are going to fight around 175, and I think that Jake usually fights around, I think around the same. I think he usually fights around 185, 180, 188. And I know that KSI kind of fights around that weight as well. So maybe Austin would have to move up, or they would have to come down. I think it's more likely that Austin moves up. But yeah, man, I mean, with the dude really being like a D1 basketball player at Eastern Washington, like he has a much better and higher level athleticism, athletic background than these other guys do. Granted, Jake wrestled in high school or whatever, and I know that KSI is also an athlete, but I don't know, man. I see Austin Mcbroom getting mad disrespect just because he has one fight, and quite frankly, tomorrow I think he's going to upset the world. You heard it here first. I'm the first one to say it. I really think that Austin Mcbroom is going to live up to his word and get Gib out of there quicker than he did with Bryce Hall. Because Gib actually has, he has some sort of like boxing training now and sense under his belt. He has at least one win under his belt. So he's not going to be super complicated and like weird and wild like you see a lot of those guys, like how Nate Robinson was fighting in the Jake Paul fight, or even how Gib was looking in the first fight against Jake Paul. Gib still has that weird movement where he ducks a lot and he's kind of swinging wild. But he has better fundamentals under him now, but I don't think it's going to be enough to stop Austin. I think that Austin is, first of all, a dad, so he has a lot more to work for. I don't know if Gib's a dad or whatever, but, Austin puts out there that he's a dad. That's how he first got started with the Ace family, with his kids and his wife. And I don't know, man. I think that a lot of people underestimate that dude. I think after Austin stops Gib, the right fight after that would be versus Slim. Versus either Slim or I could see Deji, right? Number 10 on this list is Logan Paul, so they don't even have Deji on there, right? And Deji just fought FusiTube and beat the pulp out of him so bad that Fusi's corner threw in the towel in round 3, maybe round 2. But yeah, man, it's gonna be a wild weekend. I said in the past that this was the worst fight card of all time because no one wants to see this fight and it's gonna be very boring. But I mean, like, you got I think Swaggy P was supposed to fight Blueface. I don't know if that's still happening. I know that Adrian Peterson now is fighting Le'Veon Bell. So I think that there are some interesting fights on this fight card. Am I gonna buy the card? No. I don't buy any YouTube cards because I know that they're going to be on YouTube later and I can watch them for free. And, if you get enough people clicking on that, you're still going to get paid. So I don't want to be that guy, but I'm also going to be that guy, And I'm going to tell you my opinion about these YouTube boxers because at the end of the day, we probably have the same level of experience, right? And I haven't trained since I was 10. No disrespect. The most disrespectful thing to say after anything else. No disrespect, but, look at me, So, yeah, man, Austin Mcbroom. Gonna knock out Gib. Terrible punches. See you guys later. Peace.